Hey guys, welcome to Lesson 8 of United States Government. Today we're going to be learning about Congress. The United States has a bicameral Congress, which means it has two houses. The Senate represents the states and is considered the upper house, and the House of Representatives represents the people and is considered the lower house. In terms of pay and allowances, salary is set by Congress and is $174,000 a year, I believe, and at least 50% of Congress members are millionaires. They get a staff, they get an office, they get travel paid for them, and they have free meals, so they get the franking privilege. But their free mail cannot be used for statements made in Congress, I think. Something like that. Their money can't be used for statements made in Congress. Senators are sometimes considered more important than House members because the average just a thing. The average congressman, so this is just a generalizing statement, is male, age 50 plus, married, has 2 kids, is a college graduate, is an attorney, attends church, has prior political experience, and is wealthy. So, here are some numbers about the 116th Congress, which is current as of the time these notes were written by the teachers, so that might not be like right now current, but it's pretty recent. Our Congress is the most diverse Congress in history, with 55 African Americans, 44 Hispanics, 131 women, 2 Buddhist practitioners, 3 Hindu practitioners, and 3 Muslim practitioners. Incumbents is a definition we're going to get, and it is those already holding office. There is a huge re-election rate / advantage over challengers. And if you're wondering why, it's because they have advertising, credit claiming, casework, position taking, weak opponents, it's easier to raise money, and pork barrel. Pork barrel is a concept where they get laws passed by tacking them on at the end of some other law or bill that doesn't have anything to do with what they're doing, with what the thing that's being passed is. Here's an example that is not at all like real life, but just to give you an idea. If they were passing a law and it was talking about school buses stopping farther away from train tracks than regular cars, they were passing that law, pork barrel would be considered if someone tacked on at the bottom of that, and all stop signs have to be green now in this specific state. Obviously, that's not something that would happen because it would make sense, but it's that kind of idea. Membership in the House. So, qualifications to be in the House of Representatives: you have to be 25 years old, a 7-year U.S. citizen, and you have to be a resident of the state or district that you're representing. You serve a 2-year term. All members are elected every 2 years. There are 435 members, and every state has at least 1. Wisconsin has 8. California has 53. Reapportionment happens every 10 years, which is redistributing the 435 seats of the House among the 50 states because population shifts. So that's important for the, I forget what the word is right now, but where the 2020 census is important for that reason. It's important for other reasons, but that's the one that they're trying to push a lot right now. The House currently has a Democratic majority with 235 members Democratic, 196 Republican, and 2 vacant spots. Apportionment and reapportionment is the drawing of state congressional district lines, and gerrymandering is when you draw a district line to benefit a certain political party. 3 rules of redistricting. Supreme Court cases ruled that congressional districts must be or have compact, physically adjoining, and similar population. Leadership in the House. The Speaker of the House is the most important person. Currently, Nancy Pelosi, who is a Democrat from California, is the Speaker of the House. And the person who is the Speaker of the House is going to be third in line for president. They call the House to order, and they have a right to speak first on legislation during House debate. They preside over the debate, recognize members to speak on the floor, and preserve order. Or they delegate that power to another member of Congress, and they set the legislative agenda, which is important because they get to decide what matters to talk about and what not to talk about, so people in a certain, if that position is held by someone in a certain political party, they may decide to talk about issues that are more important to their party and not talk about issues that are not important to their party. Then we move on to the Senate. So for membership in the Senate, you have to be 30 years old, a 9-year U.S. citizen, and a resident of the state that you're going to represent. There are 100 members of the Senate, 2 per state, and there's a 6-year term. Only 1/3, which is 33 or 34, of senators are elected every 2 years. Republicans currently hold edge in the Senate because there are 53 Republicans, 42 Democrats, and 2 I, which I think means not there. Not sure about that. They're originally chosen indirectly by state legislators, not by the people. The 17th Amendment called for direct election by the people. Wisconsin has Tammy Baldwin, who is a Democrat, and Ron Johnson, who is a Republican, as our senators. Leadership in the Senate. The President of the Senate equals the Vice President of the United States, though right now it's Mike Pence. He only presides over ceremonies in the Senate or if a vote will be close. President pro tempore of the Senate, which right now is Charles Grassley, a Republican from Iowa. They take over responsibility of presiding over the Senate and usually delegate that power to other senators. The majority leader right now is Mitch McConnell, who is a Republican from Kentucky, and they hold most of the power. Committees in Congress. Committees are used to screen bills or laws. Most bills never make it out of committees. This allows congressmen to add benefits for a home district, such as the pork. And a standing equals a permanent committee. They are responsible for a particular area of public policy, for instance, education, energy, etc. Currently, there are 19 in the House and 16 in the Senate. A select committee is a temporary committee. Both houses of Congress must pass the same version of a bill for it to become law. A conference committee works out differences on Senate and House versions of a bill. Constitutional powers of Congress. The Senate gets to approve treaties. Confirm appointments. The Senate must approve people like the president. The Senate must approve people the president appoints to certain positions, for instance, Supreme Court judges. Tax and borrow money. All tax increases and spending bills must begin in the House. They regulate trade, coin money, surplus, deficit, national debt, copyrights and patents, declare war, raise an army and navy. Non-lawmaking powers of Congress. The House elects the House elects the president if the Electoral College fails. Congress proposes all new constitutional amendments. The House impeaches or brings charges against presidents and other offices. 2 presidents have been impeached, Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton. The Senate convicts impeachment cases by 2/3 vote. No president has been impeached and removed.